What's up guys, I'm C5 from the Beefy Smash Dudes, and lately we've been wondering what the best method would be to get out of grabs as fast as possible. Until now we were just mashing the whole controller randomly, probably just like you and many other players. But recently we researched a lot about how grabs work and how to get out of them the fastest. We will be looking at the GameCube controller, since it's the most used in the competitive scene and we also use it ourselves. But don't worry, most of what we say in this video can be translated to all controllers. Mashing can be very useful. For example, can you avoid Zero Suit's fatal up B after she buried you until up to 110% or even more. So what we know is the more buttons you press, the faster you get out of grabs. But there are three important facts you need to know to understand our following conclusion. Number 1. The C-stick is almost completely useless when it comes to mashing. Circling it does only count as one single input. The stick always has to return into the neutral position before you can make another input. Note that this does not apply to the normal control stick. So yeah, just forget about the C-stick when it comes to mashing. Number 2. Pressing many buttons at the same time counts as only one single input. This is a very important point. It means that this is bad and this is good. But we will get to the details later. What's really interesting is that even directional inputs with the control stick are no exception to this rule. If you press into a direction and a button at the same time, only one of them counts. Number 3. If you press and hold a certain button and then press another button which has the same input linked to it, only the first input will count. Let's make an example. If you don't change your controls, you have jump assigned to X and Y. Now, if you press and hold X while pressing Y a lot of times, it only counts as one single input. But if you press and hold X while pressing any other input that is not jump, let's say A, it works and will count as a lot of inputs. This applies to all inputs, not only jump. For example, if you assign attack to X and do the same thing with the A button, it will again only count as one single input. I hope you get the idea. Now, let's put these rules together and find the fastest way to mash. First, stay away from the C-stick. You need your thumb anyway for the other buttons. Next, don't press many buttons at the same time. Now it gets interesting. If you use the control stick at the same time as you are mashing buttons, it is very likely that you have many inputs at the same time, which would only waste energy. When we tried to mash really fast, we did exactly that, only to find out afterwards that we were actually slower than when we only mashed buttons or only used the control stick. So our conclusion is the following. If you want to mash fast, focus on either only mashing buttons or only using the control stick. Now, to make the best use of the control stick, circling it as fast as possible is the way to go. Remember that whatever I said about the C-stick does not apply to the normal control stick. To find the fastest way to mash buttons, we have to look at the second and third rule. Now, you could use the classic version of mashing. We call it swiping. You simply swipe your thumb from B to Y or X and back again as fast as possible. But don't forget that if you have jump on X and Y, pressing both of them will only count as one input. You can avoid that by assigning shield, grab or special to one of those buttons. In our opinion, this would generally be a good idea, since you usually don't need both of them to jump. Swiping is pretty good, but can be exhausting or take a strain on your thumb. Another possibility to mash is what we call wobbling. You let your thumb roll up and down the buttons. Starting from X, you can either point your thumb towards Y or towards B. This again depends on your controls. If you have anything else than jump or attack assigned to X or Y, you can use the first version where your thumb only wobbles on X, A and Y. If you don't want to change your controls, I would recommend using the second version where you wobble on X, A and B. Because if you wobble between X and Y, it is very likely that you press Y even though your thumb is still holding X, which would render one input useless. Now both swiping and wobbling are equally good methods of mashing, so it only comes down to personal preference. Try it out yourself and use whatever feels more comfortable to you. So I said earlier that combining the control stick and button mashing is not productive. You want to focus on only one kind of mashing, but which one? Circling the control stick is a tiny bit slower than button mashing, but not by a lot. So I would recommend that you stay with button mashing when you are trapped in a normal grab on stage or whenever you feel safe mashing hard. But when you are off stage with a Diddy Kong on your face, get inhaled by Kirby or swallowed by Yoshi, that's when you only want to use the control stick. It can be very dangerous to mash buttons since you could buffer a laggy or suicidal input. Circling the control stick is almost as fast as mashing buttons, but much safer. So again, when you are off stage, circle the control stick fast. When you are on stage, mash buttons, with the right technique of course. The last thing we left out until now are shoulder buttons. And well, if you paid attention over the last few minutes, you should know what's coming now. We know that pressing many buttons at the same time won't help. And if you mash like I told you to, there should be almost no time in between your inputs. So trying to time the L, R or Z button to implement in your mashing is not really productive. Let the other fingers rest while focusing all your concentration on moving your thumb as fast as you can. I hope this video helps you out a bit. If you are interested in more detailed information, you can check out the link in the description. We made a thread on Smashboards about all of this and even more. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, see you soon and stay beefy.